Ego is a big one. In fact, that is the biggest. You need a self-correcting mechanism. So at the beginning, we all suck. Doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're a little kid, whether you're deep into your career. When you're embarking on something new, you're going to be bad at it. You need to leverage what is, the more I push for success, the more I realize everything is just a scientific method recontextualized for something. You have a guess, you try something, you fail to some degree, you assess what worked, what didn't work, you then reformulate your hypothesis and try again. The problem is, if you think you're amazing and in failure it hurts who you are and your sense of self, you don't want to see the truth and you will hide the truth from yourself extraordinarily effectively, or you just won't try again. Oh, that didn't work. Not because of me, it didn't work because of some other thing, and you'll externalize it. The flip side of that coin, though, is if you take everything on yourself, oh my God, I messed up, I made a mistake, I'm stupid, I'm wrong, I did this poorly, this didn't work because of me, then you won't try again because you've just completely deflated yourself. So you have to walk this weird middle ground of having an ego, but making sure that your ego is based on something that makes you stare nakedly at your inadequacies. And the only way to do that, that I have found, is to identify as the learner. So most people want to be right, good, smart. In fact, let's talk about Nietzsche. It's all will to power. Everybody needs to have that thing where they're like, because of this, I am a badass. This is why somebody at a toll booth or whatever flexes their muscle, or somebody at the TSA, I've recently traveled and people want to flex their muscle there. Because you need something that makes you feel like you have power. Will to power, like as you, look, I am brand new to Nietzsche. I don't want to make it sound like I'm a scholar here. But it was the first thing that allowed me to understand what's happening in culture right now, which is people fighting for ideas that seem to me self-evidently self-destructive, and I could not understand why they would do that. But once you realize that, oh, if I can't beat you in open competition, then I just want to tear you down. When you realize that that need to show that you are powerful, to make progress, to strive for something, to be able to bend the world to you in some way, then you realize if you can't make that will to power serve something that's high functioning in terms of pushing you towards fulfillment, you're gonna be in a self-destructive spiral. And so that's where most people live, is they are running the scientific method of hypothesis. They try something, but when it doesn't work, and it won't, what do? And if at that moment they realize, oh, I have this need to solve this, to move forward, to make progress, but I need to do that in a high-functioning, self-aware way, and the best thing that you can do there is see yourself, okay, I'm the learner. I want to see what I've done wrong. That is my will to power. My will to power is improvement itself. And to do that, I have to really accept the things that I'm not currently good at. Most people can't do that. Most people are stuck in the psychological immune system of, I want the will to power, but I'm gonna lie to myself, assume that I'm good, right, better, faster, stronger. And for that all to be true, anything that is saying that I messed up or I'm bad, I have to knock down. And that's where people get in a self-destructive loop. Instead, you need to be asking, what can I do differently that would be more effective? So the reason that you've had as much success as you've had is because it's never enough for you. You're constantly frustrated. You want to do more. Like when I think about how much you do, it's very impressive. You hold a lot of things. The reason you hold a lot of things is because it's never been enough for you. You always want more. You always want to get better. So that's good, right? That ambition has led you to where you are. My ambition has led me to where I am. But sometimes it feels pathological. I feel like I'm too ambitious. I want too much. And it drives me into this corner of taking on like everything. And whenever I think about the remedy and I think, oh, I would tell somebody else, do less. I don't like that feeling. I don't want to do less. I want to get stronger. I want to do more. So you want that. That's nature going, hey, I need you to go out and fight and do really dangerous things, right? If you think about yourself from an evolutionary standpoint, dude, so boys and girls, read about history, okay? I'm becoming obsessed with history. Humans are murderers. Dude, we kill, we rape, we pillage. It's crazy. In all of us is that animal. Now the question is, why would we develop that from an evolutionary standpoint? Because for millions of years, it was red in tooth and claw. It was so hard to stay alive, to go out to get food. At the risk of derailing your answer, reading the book, The Empire of the Summer Moon, was transformative for me. It may be the book that made me fall in love with history, like just completely and totally. Because I realized the world used to be completely untamed. And that the Great Plains of America, which I had heard people refer to but never knew what it meant, there was a part of America that was so flat and there was basically nothing there that they referred to it as oceanic, meaning that it was like being lost at sea. It was just so big, so expansive, so open, so nothing, that to cross it was like trying to cross the ocean. Now, we conquered that. And when you think about what it would take for an animal to be so good that it can conquer every element of this planet, it is a level of intensity, beast mode, all of that, that in a modern context, one, is not celebrated, it's ridiculed, it's tried to be pushed out of people, but I think it's actually incredibly powerful. It is the thing that's allowed us to create all of this, to travel to other planets. We've literally gone to other planets. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you've got this amazing thing that pushes you, but there becomes a point where it spills over into pathology and you start going, I'm a loser because I haven't gone to the moon yet. I'm a loser because we haven't colonized Mars. So you want it to push you, you want to be dissatisfied, but you want to recognize when it begins to diminish who you are. So you need to be able to stare into the abyss of the Great Plains and go, I need to become capable of crossing this thing. But as you get into it and you start to feel terrified, it feels too big, it feels too much, I'm not capable of this, you have to back off and go, what is the most efficient thing I could do with the next 15 minutes of my life? And that's where most people break. Either they stare out into the abyss and they can't take the first step, not your problem. Okay, you'll take that first step. But then as you get out there, the very thing that gave you the guts to take that first step begins to chip away at you. And so you have to remember, you're an animal having a biological experience. That's just your brain messing with you. So do and believe that which moves you towards your goals. Once the pathology begins to spill into the motivation, back off. Don't allow yourself to give into it. Instead, and all I do in that moment, because I have a more aggressive negative voice, I think, than most people, it's why I keep pushing forward despite my success. But when it begins to diminish my sense of self, then I go, I don't allow myself to repeat that. Because you are what you repeat. You're gonna think it, don't worry about that. But you are what you repeat. And so if you start repeating, I'm a loser, I'm a loser, I'm a loser, then you're not gonna get better. So in that moment where my brain just starts going, you're a loser, you're not good enough for this, you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough, fast enough, whatever, I go, what could I do with the next 15 minutes to get a little bit smarter, a little bit faster, a little bit better? And then I get into skill acquisition mode. Once I'm in skill acquisition mode, boom, now I can move forward. And so one of my habit loops is to pattern interrupt my negative thinking and shift myself back into skill acquisition. If you live in skill acquisition, then it'll all stack. And that's when I look into somebody that is as young as you. I think, dude, if you knew what I know, which is in 10 years, you're gonna look back over your shoulder and you won't recognize yourself. Because all these little moments where you were too weak to do something that you wanted and it really made you angry, you actually got a little bit stronger because you were trying and trying and trying, and it's invisible. But dude, when you have a 10-year window, it's really awesome. But you have to keep going.